A wild question. What really happens out here? Have you ever wondered what would happen if you just left? I mean, really left. Packed a bag, walked away from the sirens and the screens, set up camp deep in the woods. What would that do to you? Not just to your mood, but to your actual physical body. It's a wild thought, isn't it? People talk about getting back to nature, but what does nature do when it gets back to you? The changes are more surprising than you might think. They start fast and they run deep. Stay with me, because one of the biggest changes isn't about muscles or sleep. It's something that happens inside your gut, and it's a game changer. So, let's get into it. Forget the romantic movies. Peaceful sunrises listening to the birds. It's also about hard work, real risks, and your body being forced to adapt in ways it has forgotten. Imagine trading your office chair for a fallen log and your keyboard for an axe. Your body, which has grown comfortable and maybe a little lazy in the modern world, is about to get a serious wake-up call. We're going to walk through this journey, step by step, from your first night under the stars to the long-term shifts that can reshape you from the inside out. The truth is, this isn't just a hypothetical adventure. I've spent a huge chunk of my life in these environments, and I've felt these changes firsthand. It's a mix of incredible benefits and tough challenges. Some of these adjustments feel amazing. Others are a real struggle, but every single one of them teaches you something profound about your own resilience and what you're truly made of. This isn't just about survival. It's about what happens when you truly live out here. We're going to cover everything from how your sleep cycle completely flips to the way your immune system gets a brand new education, and even how your brain chemistry starts to change. I'll share some simple, real-life examples from my own experiences. The small daily routines that add up to massive transformations. This isn't complex science, it's the straightforward, powerful truth of what happens when a human being reconnects with the wild. Ready? Let's step into the woods. The very first thing to change is your clock. Not the one on your wrist, but the powerful one inside your brain. In the city, we live by artificial light. We stare at screens late into the night, and wake up to jarring alarms in the dark. Out here, you live by the sun. When it gets dark, a deep primal tiredness sets in. There are no blue lights from a phone to trick your brain into staying awake. Your body starts producing melatonin, the sleep hormone, right on cue. You'll find yourself wanting to sleep earlier than you have in years. And the wake-up, it's not an alarm. It's the first light filtering through the trees, and the sound of the forest waking up. Then, you notice your breathing. Take a deep breath in the city, and you're inhaling a cocktail of exhaust fumes, dust, pollutants. Take a deep breath in the woods, and it's different. The air is filled with oxygen from the trees, and something called phytoncides, natural compounds released by plants. These have been shown to calm your nervous system. Your lungs, which might have been tight or irritated, can finally relax. After a few days of breathing clean, crisp air, you might notice you're coughing less, and can take deeper, more satisfying breaths. Of course, life in the woods isn't a vacation. It's physical. You don't just turn a thermostat up. You chop and carry the wood to build a fire for warmth. You don't turn on a tap. You haul buckets of water from a stream for cooking and cleaning. Your muscles are engaged in constant, functional movement, especially your back, your legs, and your core. Carrying an uneven load of firewood over rocky ground is a full-body workout that no gym machine can replicate. At first, you'll be sore, but within a few weeks, you'll notice a new kind of strength, a wiry toughness that comes from real-world work. Your heart gets a workout too. All that walking, lifting, chopping. It's not about short, intense bursts at the gym. It's about sustained, moderate activity throughout the day. This kind of movement is incredibly effective at strengthening your heart muscle, improving circulation, helping to regulate blood pressure and blood sugar levels. You might even find you lose some excess weight without even trying. Your daily calorie burn has gone way up. Your body starts to shed the softness of a sedentary life, and finds a new, more powerful equilibrium. Now, for something fascinating. Your immune system, which has been living in a relatively sterile, sanitized world, it's about to go back to school. When you're in the woods, you're constantly in contact with a whole new world of microbes. You're touching soil, you're brushing against plants, you're breathing in air that is rich with a diverse range of microbes, bacteria, fungi, other microorganisms. This might sound scary, but for a healthy immune system, it's like training. Exposure to these diverse natural microbes can help educate your immune cells, making them smarter and more balanced. It can even help reduce the overreactions that cause allergies. It can even help reduce the overreactions that cause some autoimmune issues. This brings us to that surprising fact I mentioned, your gut. The trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system, known as your gut microbiome. They impact your digestion. They impact your mood. They impact your immunity. A modern diet and sanitized lifestyle can lead to a less diverse gut microbiome. But when you move to the woods, you're exposed to soil-based organisms, and you're exposed to a different diet. This can dramatically increase the diversity of your gut bacteria. A healthier, more diverse microbiome can improve your ability to digest food. It can strengthen your immune system. It can produce chemicals that make you feel happier and calmer. However, this adventure for your immune system is not without its risks. The woods are also home to things that can make you sick. Ticks, mosquitoes. Ticks can carry diseases like Lyme disease. Mosquitoes can transmit various viruses. You have to become incredibly vigilant. Every day you must do a thorough check of your body for ticks. You learn to wear the right clothing. You learn to use repellents. You learn to be smart about where you sit and walk. It's a constant trade-off. You're gaining resilience from good microbes, while actively defending yourself against the dangerous ones. Beyond the bugs, there's the simple matter of hygiene. Keeping clean is a top priority for staying healthy. A small cut or scrape that you'd ignore in the city can become a serious infection out here if not cleaned properly. You learn the importance of clean water for drinking and washing. You become an expert in filtering water. You become an expert in boiling water to make it safe. You learn to handle food carefully to avoid contamination. These aren't just chores. They are fundamental survival skills that keep your immune system from being overwhelmed. They allow it to focus on adapting and getting stronger, sharpening the senses and calming the mind. One of the most profound changes is not in your muscles, but in your senses. In the city, your senses are constantly bombarded. Loud noises, bright lights, 1,000 different things competing for your attention force your brain to filter most of it out. You become numb. In the woods, the opposite happens. The environment is quieter, so you start to notice the details. Your hearing sharpens. The wind in the pines, the wind in the oak leaves, the call of a specific bird, the snap of a twig that signals an animal is nearby. Your vision changes too. Instead of focusing on screens 2 feet from your face, your eyes are constantly scanning the distance, looking for paths, watching for wildlife, checking the weather on the horizon. This gaze shifting between near and far can actually be restful for your eye muscles. You also start to see things you never noticed. Subtle patterns in tree bark, the way the light changes throughout the day, the tiny movements of insects on the forest floor. Your world becomes visually richer and more detailed, pulling you into the present moment. This heightened awareness has a direct effect on your mind. The constant low-level stress of city life, the deadlines, the noise, keeps your body in a state of fight or flight, pumping out the stress hormone cortisol. In the quiet of the woods, your nervous system finally gets a chance to switch to rest and digest mode. The color green, the sounds of nature, and the fresh air all have a scientifically proven calming effect. You feel your shoulders drop. The mental chatter begins to quiet down. Many people report a deep sense of peace and a reduction in anxiety after just a few days. But it's not all Zen-like peace. the woods can also bring on a different kind of stress: loneliness. Humans are social creatures. The silence that feels peaceful on day 1 can feel isolating by day 10. You might miss the easy chatter of friends, family, or even co-workers. This is a real challenge that requires a new kind of mental strength. You learn to be comfortable with your own thoughts. You might find a rhythm in solitude, but it's also important to maintain connections, whether through planned visits, a satellite phone, or simply knowing you have a community to return to. Balancing solitude and connection is key to long-term mental well-being out here. You know, the brain on nature. A focus upgrade. Beyond simply feeling calmer, your brain actually starts to work differently in the woods. Modern life is a war on our attention: notifications, advertisements, constant multitasking. This fragments our focus into 1,000 tiny pieces. In the woods, these distractions vanish. No pop-up ads, no urgent emails. Your brain, freed from bombardment, can finally focus. Scientists call this soft fascination, attention held gently by nature. That focus boosts problem-solving and creativity. Real problems sharpen you, like building a shelter that stays dry in the rain, or navigating back to camp. You're engaging with the world directly. Creative ideas often come while walking in the woods, or sitting by a fire. Letting your brain rest creates space for deeper insights. Your memory can improve too. Navigating a landscape trains spatial memory. Remembering where you found firewood, remembering a patch of wild berries, less stress, better sleep. Both help memory consolidation. Well rested and calm, your brain stores and retrieves information better. You may recall small details with surprising clarity. That clarity builds agency and confidence. In the city, we lean on tech and services. Hungry? You order food. Lost? You use GPS. In the woods, you rely on yourself. Small wins: building a fire in the rain, finding your way with a map and compass, identifying an edible plant. Each success boosts self-esteem. You prove you're capable and resilient. That confidence follows you back into everyday life, really into your everyday life. The unseen dangers and practical realities. Living in the woods is beautiful, but let's be clear-headed. It's not a fantasy world. Nature is impartial and unforgiving. The number one danger is often the weather. Hypothermia is a silent killer and can set in even on a cool, rainy day if you get wet and can't get dry. Layering clothing, staying dry, build a shelter, build a fire. Heat stroke in summer can be just as deadly. Find shade, stay hydrated, recognize signs of heat exhaustion. It's a critical survival skill. Then there are the physical injuries. When you're miles from the nearest road, a twisted ankle becomes a serious emergency. Axes, knives. A moment of carelessness can lead to a severe cut. Learn to use your tools safely and deliberately. Move through the forest with awareness, watching where you place your feet to avoid falls. A well-stocked first aid kit and, more importantly, the knowledge of how to use it. You have to become your own first responder. We also have to talk about the other inhabitants of the woods, the animals. While most animals will actively avoid humans, encounters can happen. Store your food securely to avoid attracting bears or other scavengers. Make noise as you walk so you don't surprise a large animal. It's about respect and awareness. You are a guest in their home, and you need to act accordingly. Carry bear spray in bear country, for instance. Finally, there is the simple, grinding reality of the work itself. It never ends. The fire always needs more wood. The water supply always needs replenishing. Your gear always needs to be maintained. There are no days off. This constant demand for physical labor can be mentally and physically draining, especially at first. It teaches you discipline and a powerful work ethic. You learn to appreciate the simple comforts, a warm, dry place to sleep, a hot meal, because you know firsthand the effort that went into creating them. The lasting impact. a new way of being. So, after weeks and months, what's the final tally? The woods will change you, that's for certain. You emerge physically tougher, with a body that is stronger, leaner, more attuned to the natural world. Your sleep is deeper, your breathing is easier, your heart is healthier. You've built a practical, functional strength that comes not from a gym, but from the real work of living. Your body has recalibrated to an ancient, powerful rhythm, written in sunlight, moonlight, the turning of the seasons. You feel more alive, more capable in your own skin. Mentally, you are clearer and calmer. The constant chatter of anxiety has been replaced by a quiet confidence. Your focus is sharper, your senses are heightened, comfortable in your own company. You can solve real problems and overcome real challenges, building deep resilience. You have a new perspective on what is truly important, and the small stresses of modern life seem, well, smaller. You carry the peace of the forest with you. This doesn't mean abandoning the modern world. The real magic is integrating these lessons into daily life. Bring the woods into your life. Take a daily walk in a park. Prioritize sleep. Disconnect from screens an hour before bed. Open a window to let in fresh air. Appreciate the effort in a home-cooked meal. These small, deliberate actions help you keep the gains. Moving to the woods is a journey back to yourself. It strips away the non-essential. It reminds us we are part of nature, not separate. Our bodies and minds thrive when we honor that connection. Find your piece of the wild. Not necessarily a remote forest, a local trail, a city park, your own backyard. Start small. See how it feels. What changes do you notice? Share this story, and more importantly, share your own experiences in the comments. Let's talk about what happens when we step outside. And hey, if you enjoyed this, subscribe and keep walking with us to the very end of every adventure.